PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to another edition of PACTV Community News. I'm Brian Sullivan, and I want to welcome PACTV's Donna Rodriguez to the PCN Anchor Desk this week.
Thanks, Brian. It's great to be here. I've been out playing with local eats, so it's fun to join you on set today.
Well, it's nice to finally have you here in the studio. This week, PCN brings you to a prom in Pembroke and a special thrift store in Plymouth.
We'll tell you about the solar farm in Duxbury, and we'll see what goes into preparing for a couple's first dance.
Our arts and entertainment team was at Priscilla Beach Theater to get a peek into their youth theater programs.
And we'll meet the new town clerk in Kingston with Town Talk. Design Corner is back with some cheerful spring tips.
It's going to be a great show, and our first story also brings us to Kingston to meet the new Council on Aging director. The Kingston Council on Aging has a new leader at the helm with Executive Director Tammy Murray. PCN caught up with Tammy to see how her first week on the job was going.
Do you want coffee? I started Monday and was welcomed by the board of the Council on Aging with a lunch, cake, and gifts, which was lovely. That's never happened at a job that I've started before. I've spent a lot of time going through files and getting acquainted with all the volunteers that we have here and training with Dottie, who's been here for 25 years, and Leah in the front office, and she's been here 2 years. So they've been a great help and to get me acclimated into the process. Today we had an art show. People come here and get instruction from an art instructor, and their work is hanging up in the hallways and in the great room. The photographs on the wall are all from the art show. These were all painted by seniors in our area.
We had one instructor, and I've never painted before, and I was so surprised that it did so well. After we finished, I said, I'm going to put this in the art show, which is Thursday, so that's it. In a little at a time, we did it.
This office is for our outreach coordinator and our shine coordinator. They help people with problems overcharging on their bills, or if they need health insurance, or if they need someone to talk to. They're here 2 days a week. This room is the activity room. They had, this morning, there was Tai Chi in here. They play pinochle, other card games. They can meet and do whatever. And this is the arts and crafts room where they do painting, quilting, meet for coffee. This is the library area, and as you can see, we have a television and chairs for people to come and relax. And then off the back of the library is the patio. We're thinking of having a garden club out here, though, in the future. But isn't it cool? And we also have bingo going on right now.
B3. G57.
One of the goals I have is to getting more people in the town that are over 60, understanding that we're here, what we have available, that there are resources as far as assistance with health insurance or legal advice, as well as activities.
The Prom Angels is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide safe, fun, and socially empowering activities and events for teens with special needs. This month, they held their annual event, and PCN visited with a young couple as they got ready for prom.
Well, today we're getting ready for Prom Angels special prom, and we are doing hair and makeup for the community, going to the prom this evening. And on this young lady, we're doing a half up, half down hairstyle. Just to give back to the community once a year, not a big deal. One day a year, that's all.
Well, he's a very sweet man, kind of hard, and he always helped people a lot. So when he heard when he wanted to do this, he was excited. He was happy for us.
Brings a lot of smiles to me. It's actually a lot of fun.
Longhorn Steakhouse is providing the food, and we're going to be part of the entire community shipping in to really do something that's outstanding for these kids today. So the most exciting thing, obviously, is that you get more out of this than you could possibly imagine after you're giving in. So that's really the best thing. We've been doing it for 7 years, giving the food to the kids so that then they can enjoy a nice steak or chicken so that they can really have a great night at the prom. And we're super excited about this, and we have a lot of volunteers, as you can see, to help out with the event. It's just really an outstanding collaboration of the entire community to be able to get these kids just a dream.
This is a 1940s car. This is from for World War II.
Really?
Yeah, from 19. Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome.
Embarrassing.
Look, wave to the camera. Wave, wave, show them the ring.
How was the ride?
It was good.
Yeah?
Really good.
Was Peter a good driver?
Yes.
We're hosting at the Pembroke Country Club through the efforts of the Ronick family, who have been outstanding for the special needs community and for the Prom Angels Foundation. Well, we started things off today at the Longhorn Restaurant, and we had a parade with our antique cars, and that was started several years ago from our good friend Peter Brown from Tiny and Sons. And it's over the years just been reaching out to the community, and it's been growing and growing and growing, and it's turned into a very successful event. As you can see here, we have people from all over the South Shore, ranging in ages from 16 to 66, and we're here to improve the quality of life for our special needs community.
The South Shore Women's Resource Center is a nonprofit program on the South Shore that assists victims of domestic violence. They've been in business for over 30 years, empowering victims and their families to make safe choices. They began a thrift store in downtown Plymouth to help the community with clothes, shoes, and accessories at reasonable prices, as well as to raise funds for the program. PCN visited the store to hear more.
I started this position in March, at the end of March, and the position of program director opened up in probably the end of 2013 in December, when the prior program director, Kathy, was promoted within High Point, and this position became available. Where we're looking to expand is bringing back the elder program. We once had an elder program, which was to assist elders who are victims of domestic violence. And we also had a larger teen dating violence program. So those are two areas that we are looking to expand, both on teen dating violence and getting within the schools in Plymouth County, well, in the 17 towns that we cover, and also start looking to reestablish the elder program.
This is Court Street Thrift Boutique. It is 12 rooms dedicated to pretty much everything. What's nice, we like to think about the layout, is there is a sign designating the contents of each room. And so this is all things men. Shoes, clothing, whatever is male-oriented ends up in that room. This is all thing books. Our manager broke out the signs to make it easier for people. We number them so that they're always being updated, and books that don't sell, we donate to our other programs. And sometimes people will ask, what happens to the clothes that don't sell from the sale room? Those go to our other programs as well, because we have family shelters and people in recovery that are getting back on their feet. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. The way this is designed, it's very much a thrift store with thrift store pricing, but our anonymous lady, who never wanted her name to be used, really wanted it to be more of a boutique-like feel. So that's why the ambiance, I think, speaks more of a gift boutique than it does what you would traditionally think of as a thrift store. Sometimes people miss this sign because this room is like all over the place here. And when she did the children's room, it's rather whimsical because she did it with happy faces on the wall, so it's really cute. We're very fortunate. We got in a really nice donation recently from someone who was closing her children's shop, and she liked what we were doing here and the fact that our proceeds support our domestic violence program. So she called and pretty much gave us the contents of her store, which obviously we really appreciated. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without people donating, because everything in the store is donated, which sometimes really blows people's minds when you think it's 12 rooms. But when they find out, I think that we're providing free and confidential domestic violence services to 16 communities, they're on board, and we get some beautiful donations.
Well, it's, having the thrift store really brings about community awareness and outreach, and it helps everybody.
And that brings us into what probably is one of the more popular rooms, and that is our kitchen. The kitchen is staged as a kitchen, which is really nice because you can see items and you can think, would this fit into my household? So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our volunteers, because they do everything for us. We have a really small staff, both a part-time manager who works beyond her hours, and a part-time person who comes in over the weekend. But it's the volunteers that are responsible for the way this place looks. They clean, they sort, they steam clothes in 90-degree weather. They do everything. Very conscientious. The bottom line is we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
At South Shore Women's Resource Center, we'll often give vouchers for women to come down here and purchase clothes for those who may not have many items they may have left, they may not have the opportunity, and they can buy clothes for their children, they can buy clothes for themselves. And it's a program that really the thrift store gives back, and that those in the community who come in and purchase clothes, those who donate, they're really giving back to the community. And it's a great way for us to get out the word that domestic violence is a prevalent problem throughout. It's a severe problem, and it happens everywhere, and it happens here.
The town of Duxbury is in the solar business. Their latest solar power plant is about to come online at the site of the former landfill. PCN had the opportunity to visit the construction project and speak to the chairman of the Alternative Energy Committee.
This was a project that our committee has been working on for a couple of years, and the idea was to take advantage of the state's virtual net metering legislation in the Green Communities Act that allows renewable energy projects to be built and put the power back into the grid and then sell the credits for that power to institutions, municipalities, and other users that are within that load zone at a discount. They had to negotiate a pilot agreement with the town, which is a payment in lieu of taxes. So instead of paying real estate taxes, they pay through a mechanism, through this pilot mechanism. That also had to be approved at town meeting. So that was another step that we had to go through. So the town, in essence, buys the electricity from this plant at a discount. So we think that we're going to save, the town will save about $30,000 a year from this plant. We think the plant is a great thing for the town for a lot of reasons. It takes a capped landfill that really can't be used for anything else, and it converts it to what you see here, to a power plant that produces electricity, green electricity. This plant produces renewable green electricity. It produces enough electricity to power about 75 homes a year. So it's a real power plant. It also demonstrates the town's commitment to sustainability and being green. And I think really importantly, it's a chance for us to educate our children to what's going on here. I mean, it's an inspiring sight when you're out here. We're working on agreements where we've done some of these agreements, and we have other ones that are in the process where we're buying the in essence, the electricity from other plants that are not necessarily in town. Duxbury doesn't have a lot of open land, so this is really the only plant that we could build. But of the, this represents about 1/10 of the town's load that we can commit to. The rest of it, or about 3/4 of the rest of it, we're negotiating agreements with other renewable energy projects where we're going to be the off-taker. We're going to be buying the electricity from those plants at a discount. So it's an opportunity for the town to facilitate other renewable energy projects to happen by being the entity that's going to buy the electricity, and allows us to save money on our power. We're saving about 30%, between 20 and 30% on these agreements. It takes a little bit of education. We've had an alternative energy committee for about 5 years, and we've kind of educated ourselves and tried to stay on top of the opportunities, because there are a lot of opportunities for municipalities. So, you need to have a group of people that are going to take some initiative and take the lead, and then you need to be able to have town officials have the interest in becoming educated and going through the process. And we're fortunate in that we've got a town manager and we've got selectmen that are progressive, and they're interested and they're willing to do the work. And we also have a town attorney that is very knowledgeable on this. So we've been able to put it together and become an attractive partner for these different projects.
A wedding dance is traditionally the first dance a newly married couple dances together. This dance can be impromptu or well planned out with professional help. Couples come with different dance abilities, and classes can get them through that first dance, as well as develop a love of dance for a lifetime. PCN met up with a local dance company to learn what goes into preparing for a well-designed first dance.
A lot of people are afraid to take lessons because they don't know how to dance, and it's something that we like to show them that when you come in, we really start from scratch, and the goal is to start with learning muscle memory. So the first few lessons are going to feel a little goofy and a little awkward because it's a new skill set that you're learning, and as you progress, you're going to learn how to dance with a partner. Dave and Carrie Williamson got married about 2.5 years ago. They came in for their wedding, and they really came to learn just for their wedding. They thought it was something that they would do for a short amount of time, learn one dance, and really their first dance, and then be done with it. But they ended up falling in love with dancing in general and have stayed with us since their wedding and actually become quite good and very strong on the social dance floor.
I don't think we would have been comfortable at all at our wedding. We danced probably 3 times ever before we got married, and I think that first dance would have been very awkward if we had not taken lessons ahead of time. And now I wish that we could do our wedding dance now, having been dancing for a couple of years. We're a lot better than we were in start.
I feel great. I mean, I can get out there and I can lead her around the floor without too much problem, and we keep getting better. It's been a good time.
What's going on right now is we have 4 different lessons going on the floor. Rhiannon is working with Ron and Brad, and they're working on cha-cha. Over on that side of the floor, we have Donnie and Diane working on bolero. We have Dave and Carrie are about to work on, I think, rumba. Yes, they're about to work on rumba, which is a rhythm dance. Angel and Don are working on Argentine tango.
My favorite part is seeing the progress and having aha moments with the students where something clicks, whether it's a single lady or a couple, just having a sense of achievement and really just progressing. That's what I enjoy most. If you want to stand a chance, learn how to dance.
Dancing separately from someone, when you're out on a social dance floor, if you're dancing side by side, that's really different than dancing with someone and being in their arms. So we really want to make people comfortable dancing together. So after you get a few basics under your belt, we start working a little bit more on the foundations and principles of leading and following. And then after that, we really work on smoothing out the wrinkles and making things look a little less stiff and awkward, and adding a little bit of technique and fluidity on top of the skills you've already learned to make you kind of look really awesome on the dance floor. Our goal is to give everyone the ability to dance on any size dance floor to any music with any partner. We teach about 16 different styles of dance, and we teach them to anyone and everyone at any level or any age.
Priscilla Beach Theater in Plymouth, founded in 1937, is the oldest barn theater still in operation in America. Since its conception, the theater has been considered one of the most respected theater summer training camps for young aspiring actors. PCN spent time with some of the new staff and owners to see what's coming up this summer for the children's summer workshops.
That I bought the theater a year ago last April, and the main focus obviously is the barn. So the barn was built in 1875. It was a real barn. This used to be the Taylor farm and the estate with many acres, and that was the barn where they had livestock in it. In 1937, Franklin Trask moved here and converted to a theater, a 225-seat theater. I don't think there have been any maintenance on the theater since 1937, so it is in rough shape and it's falling down and it needs a lot of love and attention, but that's kind of the role that we're going to do here, is that we're going to restore the barn, probably maintain 80% of what's there now, and just structurally remediate and make sure that it's up to current codes and safe, and then we'll put in new seating and new lighting and new electric and everything. So it's a huge undertaking, but that's kind of the main thing that we're doing.
So that's the goal, is to have it up and running in the summer, and it will only be for the summer. It won't be in the winter. We'll still use the GMO black box.
Everybody can look up the kind of the storied past of Priscilla Beach Theater, and it's an awesome history that it has. It is such a significant kind of place in Broadway and Hollywood, and if you look at the long list of people that have got their starts here, so Paul Newman, Rob Reiner, and Dan Blocker, and Peter Gallagher, and Pat Carroll, and Estelle Parsons, who was nominated for a Tony this past week. That alone, it gives you chills when you walk on this campus and you think about those people kind of learning their trades here and starting it. And it's very exciting to think that this was such a dominant kind of a player in the industry. When live performances, live theater was king. This was the center of the training ground for all that. There's so much history in this theater that it would kill me to see this kind of go down that path. So I had known the previous owner, Jim Lonegro, Geronimo Sands, forever. As a kid, I used to come here, and I knew him from there, and I used to be involved with all the theater activities when I was in middle school and high school, and got to know the theater and him during that time period. So fast forward to last year, when things were kind of going south with the properties, I stepped up and said, well, I'll buy it from you, and I'll restore it to what it was, to its former glory.
Edwina, dear Edwina, won't you help us, we don't want to stay.
And Plymouth is going through such a kind of a cultural renaissance. It's just awesome. We are thrilled to kind of see what's going on, and a rising tide lifts all boats. We're happy to be part of that, and we're thrilled with what's going on at the Spire and kind of what they're doing actively. They have a beautiful venue and a great location and high quality performance of what they put out there.
And Plymouth is an amazing place, but it is far away from Boston, and it's just this microcosm of all of these wonderful things, and now PBT is just adding to that. So I just think it's a diamond no longer in the rough. So we're so grateful to the Malones for bringing it to the forefront again.
We look forward to that day where Plymouth is thought of as the place to go for entertainment, live entertainment, with the Spire, with us, and the other theater groups that are in the Plymouth area.
Our Design Corner segment is back from setting the space in Plymouth with some tips on how flowers can change your outlook.
Hi, I'm Blair from Setting the Space, and welcome to this week's episode of PCN's Design Corner. I want to talk about bringing some spring into your life. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of this winter. It's been a long, cold, dreary winter. And I want to talk about how easy it is for you to bring the outdoors in. You can go to a florist and you can start to get some flowers, or you can bring some fake flowers into your room. If you look at this setting right here, we have a sofa, and what we've done is we brought in some beautiful white flowers and we brought in some beautiful purple ones as well. Purple is an in color right now, and the thought of purple is going to make you feel a little happy and excited and all of that stuff. If you notice, what we've done here is we brought in some height. So I have a very high vase here, I have a low vase here, and then we've also incorporated the color orange. And if you see this all works very well together. You can also take, from a design aspect, take a pillow and change it. So because we have the oranges and purples, if you bring in an orange pillow, a purple pillow, it's all going to work with the flowers. And what it's going to do is it's going to make you feel better, and it's going to take and brighten up your room as well. You can bring smell in too as well. Candles. This is a dandelion candle. So now what happens is, because these are fake, these don't have any odor, but if you add the candle to it, and you're also adding another color, which is yellow, you can see how all that works very well. So you're bringing in the smell as well as the look of the flowers, fake or real. Again, just to wrap up, don't give in to the winter blues. I certainly haven't, and you don't either. Go out, get yourself some flowers, bring in the smell. It's all exciting. You're going to feel so much better, and it's going to make the room look so much nicer. This is Blair from Setting the Space for PCN's Design Corner.
It's time to hear from Kingston's Town Administrator Robert Fennessy in this week's Town Talk.
Hi, I'm Bob Fennessy, Town Administrator for the Town of Kingston, and thank you for tuning in. I'm here with Paul Gallagher, our new town clerk, and he's here to introduce himself and give the people out there a face to the name. Obviously, we just had the election recently, so a lot of people do know you. Right. But why don't you give a little brief introduction?
All right, great. Some of you may have remembered that I was a selectman from 2004 to 2010. Thoroughly enjoyed serving the public back then, and hope that I did a good job, and I believe that I did a good job, and I'm hoping that's why I was elected to run for as the town clerk. Coming into the office, I have two new assistants in the office as well. One's been here about 4 months, the other one maybe 6 or 7 months. So we're all kind of learning as we go along. But I've been extremely impressed with their capabilities and their knowledge and their experience so far, and we've actually moved along pretty well.
Paul does have an open door policy, so if anybody from the town wants to stop in, say hello, or you have needs in the town clerk's office, very, very receptible to having people come in.
Absolutely.
A few other things, just want to update the townspeople. We do have a dedication of the new pier at the Adena, and that is going to happen on May 31st, a Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. It's going to be dedicated to Jeffrey S. Bond, a longtime employee of the town of Kingston. So it should be a nice event for people to come down and watch. There'll be a few speakers and the dedication. The other thing to remember is that Memorial Day is coming up, and we have the Memorial Day Parade. It meets at 9 o'clock at the elementary school, and it marches down to the townhouse here. So take part in that. And the last thing is that annual town meeting is continuing, and we'll be in our third day of town meeting on June 2nd, 7 o'clock p.m. at the intermediate school. So hope to see you there, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Paul, for joining me.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. Wanted to take the opportunity to introduce the new town clerk's office. This is Elise Keene and Diane Poria, and I'm Paul Gallagher.
Thanks for watching PACTV Community News. Replay times are listed at pactv.org. Click on the PCN tab to view each complete edition or individual story.
Watch us on YouTube by searching for the PACTV Community News channel. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to receive previews each week with links to all of our stories.
Thanks for watching, and join us next week for another edition of PACTV Community News.